just maneuver all the chess pieces, and now that identity is Smash Mouth football.
I think.
What about Tom Brady leaving the Patriots?
Exactly.
And them kind of, yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's kind of the reverse.
That, right?
Yeah, it's the reverse.
For Belichick, yeah. Like him, he didn't lose his voice. He lost the instrument of his teachings, which was Tom Brady. Tom Brady was the embodiment of the Patriot way, and now he's gone and taken his greatness to the Buccaneers and put them on heights that they've never been before. This team is better than that Super Bowl team, if you're looking at the roster from top to bottom. So yeah, I mean, it really just kind of comes out. I mean, yeah, and Schottenheimer wasn't the only person who got fired.
You mentioned the Steelers; their offensive coordinator won't be brought back. They got the dog shit beat out of them by the Browns.
Bitch slapped
28-0.
And I know
in the first quarter.
Receiver Chris Claypool was like, "Oh,
Chase
Claypool." They were like, "Oh, they're so disrespectful to Juju," and it's like.
They'll be on the couch next week. Tell you about these Notre Dame players.
Stop it, bro.
What's up with your Notre Dame guys? Why are they such salty losers? Is it because Brian Kelly can't win big games?
I posted this on the story. Like, Juju should know better than this. Like, he doesn't take any of the dancing back. He doesn't regret it, and it's like. Bro, don't you see? You just gave this extra team motivation to beat the dog shit out of you. And you're from Long Beach, bro. Like, come on, dog. You know better than that.
You're black and Polynesian.
But
you definitely know better.
You can't be fucking talking that shit, bro, and just be like, yeah, it is what it is. I talked that shit. No, dog. You took a fucking L after you talked all that shit. So guess what? You're going to take a double L, dog.
Did you hear the video of Roethlisberger talking to Pouncey when he walked over? So I only came back. You're the only reason I came back.
Damn, that's some real center QB love.
He straight up told her. He said,
that.
"The only reason I came back was for you. I'm so sorry." Because Pouncey's didn't get a Super Bowl, did he?
He might have been right after the
I think he was
last one.
Right after they got.
Or he might have been in the one they lost to Green Bay.
Potentially, that's what I'm saying. Like, and he was the better player.
I think he was in the one that. They went to Green Bay.
He was a better player than his brother, which always hurt because that's been his guy forever. He's like the staple to that line. He got hurt a bunch of times, but he's like an all-time great Steeler. And the fact that like he's probably not going to get a ring because offensive linemen, when your body falls apart, it just falls apart. And to get rid of the offensive coordinator, like. You look at those receivers and those running backs, like their mentality has to change. Like Juju Smith-Schuster is the other end of the spectrum of Antonio Brown. For what you hate about Antonio Brown, he showed up every play, in every way possible, every week. Even when teams didn't want him to catch the ball, he still gave you 12 for 160. It may have been an ugly 12 for 160. But he did it and got knocked unconscious and damn near killed, too, by the Bengals. See, they don't like to talk about that. He put his body on the line, and I'd say he had a Hall of Fame career. Has a Hall of Fame career. Borderline. I don't think he's going to get in, though.
And he came up from nowhere.
Him and Emmanuel Sanders. Same year.
Emmanuel was drafted higher.
Yeah, late round draft picks. The fact that goes back to like,
but pretty much we know Juju is not going back to the Steelers. Free agent, and the Steelers don't sign receivers of second contracts outside of Antonio Brown.
They get extensions, and he ain't really getting an extension like that. So, yeah. But as far as more fired people, so
Panthers fired their GM.
Yep, and I think the Seahawks extended their GM. But Deshaun, the trade rumors about Deshaun Watson with Andre Johnson coming out.
How you get called out by your two best players
of all time? Mario Williams and Arian Foster talked about it years ago on his podcast. I stopped listening because that motherfucker got really weird. Like he put out a rap album and then changed. I'm like, what's wrong, Bobby Fino? What's wrong with you, Arian?
He just wants his 50 tacos.
Hey man, don't sleep on 50 tacos. 50 tacos from the right restaurant, it's a godsend. Take it from someone who knows and who's done it multiple times. Not anymore though. Those days are over. Unless, I get like an alcohol fountain for my birthday and just say, hey, I want 50 tacos. But anyway.
Skinny King.
I'm definitely. But yeah, so college football news. P, you can go take a piss break.
Are you going to hit the bell?
I'm shocked. I'm shocked you said, I thought you weren't going to say anything.
I just knocked my head, okay.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Alabama beat the living piss out of Ohio State. They gave it their best try, though. They gave it the good old college try. But Justin Fields just didn't have enough. Trey Sermon got hurt like the first couple plays with a really bad shoulder injury. And the story behind that place is kind of sad because last time he was in Florida, his brother got murdered when he was a kid. And they left Florida, he did everything he could at Oklahoma, then had like 730 yards in 3 games rushing for Ohio State and gets hurt. And people are like, oh, it's Colt McCoy all over again. I just want y'all to know, all of y'all who think Colt McCoy, if he never got hurt, Alabama would have beat the shit out of Texas if Colt McCoy had never gotten hurt. Guess what? He wouldn't have got hurt that play. He would have got hurt the next play. They were pushing Texas's shit in all night long. Like, Texas was never winning that game against Alabama. Unless Vince Young came in at halftime, and even still, I don't think that's enough. Because you had, like, one of the Shipley brothers at receiver. That wasn't doing anything. But anyway, so, Alabama won 52-24. And probably going to be Justin Fields' last game. Mac Jones declared for the draft, and everybody says he has a Tom Brady body, and he does. He has a dad bod, and he's probably only like 22. He does not look like a starting quarterback, but hey, put up great numbers. Best quarterback in the country from a statistical standpoint.
Tangent. Colt Brennan or Colt McCoy in college?
I'm gonna say Colt Brennan had a much better story. Colt McCoy just put up great numbers against trash Big 12
Colt Brennan
teams.
put up 5K receiving, passing.
Colt Brennan in Hawaii had a much better story.
This dude put up 60
And
touchdowns, bro.
I follow like some of the cats who played on that Hawaii team. Especially like Samson Satelli, he's fucking jacked. Because him and like they all train at that gym with CT Fletcher.
Yeah.
It's your motherfucking set. Yeah. So
is Braylon Edwards still stupid jack?
I don't know. I don't remember him being stupid jacked. Towards the end, he probably just like leveled out. But
nah, remember he was like bodybuilding.
Don't you mean LaRon Landry? Because LaRon Landry was out here looking like
I thought it was both of them.
A super buff. No, LaRon Landry, that motherfucker is still jacked till this day. He could have played linebacker. I just put LaRon Landry at linebacker every time when I played Madden. I'm like, yep, this is technically cheating, but I don't care because that motherfucker was stronger than most linebackers and D linemen. He had like 90 strength in Madden. The shit made no sense. But, yeah, you look at this Alabama team with all the records they set. The fact that Devontae Smith, the Slim Reaper, had 12 catches, 215 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns in the first half. And he dislocated his finger and didn't come back in the second half. So he literally set 3 national championship game records in one half and then became the all-time leader in receiving in SEC history and touchdowns and Alabama's receiving yards. He set all that. Like, did it in one half. Saban was like, imagine what would have happened if he came back in the second half. That's the biggest stunt you could ever say. He's like, dude, my best player got hurt and was putting up career numbers. At one point, they put Chris Borland's little brother on him. He was at linebacker. They put their slowest linebacker on Devontae Smith. I saw that seam route the whole way. I was like, oh, he's about to score. Why would you put a linebacker on a Heisman winner? It was just, I was talking to Jordan Ball, salute to Jordan. Ohio State's definitely firing their defensive coordinator. Because there was, like, Sean Wade should probably think about just going back to college for a 5th year or 6th year, however many years he's been. He's not looking NFL ready at all. He looked like Garyon Conley out there. And not good Garyon Conley. It was pretty bad. He got smoked. And Waddell, who fractured his ankle early in the season, all the NFL players were like, man, he was hobbling on the field. He was hurt. His ankle really wasn't 100%. They should have kept him out of the game. But, you know, I guess he wanted to prove just he can come back. It's like, cool, you're baby T.O., but you don't need to play this game at all. They should have took his helmet way earlier than they did. Hopefully he doesn't have any long-term damage because he's definitely a high first-round pick for Alabama. So he went pro. Their starting defensive lineman went pro. Their center, I think Alex Leatherwood. I think they have a guard, but yeah. Like, they had 4 guys off that team go pro. More guys are going to go pro. The deadline got moved to like March 1st for people to declare. But yeah, 4 guys off a national title team. Arguably, they're even better than LSU's team last year. But I still think LSU's team last year would have found a way to beat this Alabama team. That LSU team last year was just magical. Like, Joe Burrow just had it flown. I don't think Mac Jones is on the level of a Joe Burrow, even though he put up great numbers. I think it might be snake oil. Even though he's seen to be a first-round pick, I don't really trust it just yet. But we'll see what happens. Also, so a certain someone has a certain family member who's a cousin who's the 5th all-time leading tackler in Boise State football history.
4th.
Oh, shit. I thought it said 5th, but he's 4th.
I saw somebody put 3rd, too, so he's anywhere from 3rd to 5th.
It's probably 5th because, I mean, they had Leighton Vander Esch and Marcus Lawrence and other guys, but yeah, he's top 5. Definitely top 5, bare minimum. Andy Avalos, former Oregon Ducks defensive coordinator, is now back home at Boise State as Boise State's head coach. He's the first Latino coach in Boise State's history. Former alum, one of the greatest linebackers in school history. He was actually a linebackers coach and a defensive line coach there before he went on to Oregon. And now he's our head coach, and he retained some of Harson's staff. Harson went on to Auburn. Pete, how you feel about your cousin?
Oh, yeah. Wikipedia has him at 5. But I saw in the article he was 3, so I don't know. Damn.
Shout out to BJ Raines. He broke the story.
I didn't know Corey Hall was ahead of him. I wonder how he feels about that. I'm going to ask him about that one day.
You should.
Because that was his teammate. So
Corey Hall played fullback and linebacker.
He probably recruited him, but yeah. Damn. Anyways, Quinn McKell was also a leading tackler. He's 2nd.
Quinn Michael played for the Eagles, former safety.
But yeah, man, I'm gonna need you to stop referring to him as my cousin.
You're his cousin.
He has his own. Yeah, if anything, I'm his cousin.
I mean, when you're family, you claim family. Now, that's my cousin. You see that?
Listen, man.
Don't ever say the Boise State doesn't have talent. They're global now.
I put it on Instagram. I put it on Twitter. But it's just for all the things we have going on in the world that are bad. It's one of those things that it's like, you know what? Dreams do come true. Like, things do happen. The process does work. As you mentioned, you know, he's a top 5 in tackles all the time. But if you look at his story, he's essentially a 5'9", 5'10", you know, weak side linebacker who probably ran in the high 4s. So he's not like he was a 5-star recruit, but he goes to Boise State. They go 8-4 his first year, and then the next year they don't lose 4 games in that next 3 years. From that, you know,